Chosen One, stop scrolling and listen closely. This is not a random message. This is not just another moment on your timeline. What you are encountering is a direct spiritual instruction, one not born from coincidence, but from divine orchestration. If these words have reached you, it is not accidental. It is intentional. Something higher, something beyond the visible, has led you here. Throughout your life, there have been seasons when you felt spiritually blocked, times when your strength seemed hidden, your voice subdued, and your timing uncertain. You've waited, held back, perhaps in fear or in a search for the right moment. According to a higher realm, that moment is now. A new phase of activation is beginning for the chosen ones, those spiritually aligned individuals who have been restrained not by lack of power, but by divine timing. That timing has shifted. The strategy that was once concealed, the inner tools that felt off-limits, are no longer forbidden. They are not only permitted, they are essential. We are entering a critical period. The spiritual climate is changing. Forces that oppose divine purpose are moving, and so is the call from above. If you do not respond, if you delay this call, there is a chance you could miss a breakthrough that has been carefully prepared for you. This is not a dramatic warning. It is a clear directive. Heaven is no longer whispering. It has issued a command. Use what was planted within you. This divine instruction is not asking you to become someone you are not. Rather, it asks you to stop denying what you have always been. You have been equipped. You have been positioned. But now, you must engage. The chosen one is not a role for the passive. It is a designation for those whose spirits have been prepared. In silence, whose calling is not validated by external noise, but by internal alignment. For too long, many have walked in hesitation, in silence, in fear of activating their full spiritual identity. That time has ended. You are being granted full permission, divine permission, to use what was previously hidden. This includes the spiritual disciplines you were hesitant to activate, the bold prayers you were afraid to speak, and the frequency of alignment you once felt unqualified to access. Heaven is saying, clearly and without hesitation, use it. This is not about religion. This is not about conforming to tradition or belonging to a specific spiritual group. This is about soul survival. The world is undergoing transformations on multiple levels: global, economic, psychological, and underneath it all, a spiritual war is underway. This spiritual disruption is not new, but its exposure is growing. What many see on the surface, mental fatigue, anxiety, confusion, and apathy, are not merely emotional reactions. They are spiritual responses to an environment saturated with unseen conflict. And if you are among the chosen, you have likely already felt the shift. The dissonance in your surroundings, the unease in your spirit, the urgency that cannot be explained. These are signals, not symptoms. There are tools available, spiritual tools, that were withheld in previous seasons for one reason: the world wasn't ready. Humanity's heart was too reactive, too ego-driven, too distracted. But that has changed. A new wave of spiritual responsibility is being released, and with it, the forbidden access point to alignment is now being disclosed to a select few. The prepared, the awakened, the chosen. This isn't mythology or symbolic storytelling. This is a precise system of inner calibration. The realm of spirit is not distant or detached. It is immediate. The spiritual world has always influenced the physical, but now the connection is becoming increasingly visible. Spiritual insight is no longer a luxury. It is a requirement. Chosen one, you were not placed in this generation by mistake. You are witnessing upheaval in every direction. From global instability to emotional breakdowns, the signs are clear. And still, many remain unaware of what's truly unfolding. But you are different. You have been attuned to the shift. And now, You are being asked to respond not later, but now. The tools are within you. You have access to spiritual clarity, divine timing, and sacred alignment. But activation only happens through obedience. You must engage with what you've been given. That bold prayer you've held back, speak it. That spiritual practice you feared would be misunderstood, use it. The technique you once dismissed as too simple, it holds power beyond measure. This isn't about showmanship or performance. It's about precision. It's about connection. And most importantly, it's about timing. You see, there is a narrowing window, a divine opportunity that will not remain open indefinitely. Just as seasons change in the natural, so do they in the spiritual. The door to activation is open now, but it will not stay open forever. And inaction is not neutral. It is a choice. Spiritual warfare does not announce itself with explosions. It seeps in through fatigue, confusion, and hesitation. The mind becomes a battlefield long before the body follows. The chosen must understand this and act accordingly. The practice being revealed, the one that was once forbidden, is not complex, but it is sacred. It involves silence, stillness, alignment. The world rewards movement and noise. The spirit requires presence and obedience. When you cover your physical eyes, when you silence external voices, when you say internally, "I am one with God," you are not performing a ritual. You are activating a divine protocol. You are shifting dimensions, not physically, but energetically. This act sends a signal to the higher realm that you are aligned. It shields your mind. It protects your inner world from the noise of fear, and it recalibrates your frequency to receive divine instruction. The chosen ones are not those who wait for signs in the sky. They are those who respond to the whisper within. Heaven moves through silence as often as it does through miracles. And right now, silence is the message. Stillness is the strategy. The alignment being offered is not just for individual peace. It is for collective preparation. When spiritual forces move, those who are ready will be guided, protected, and used. Those who are not will be overwhelmed, not because they were forgotten, but because they chose delay over obedience. There's no need for external validation. The chosen ones already know when a message is meant for them. It resonates not just in the mind, but in the spirit. If you feel it, if you sense that this applies to you, it does. You are not called to wait for confirmation. You are the confirmation. Your life, your sensitivity, your inner tug, these are the signatures of divine assignment. You are not here to merely exist. You are here to operate at a higher spiritual frequency. That inner nudge, that discomfort you've been ignoring, it is divine discomfort. It's a prompting not to cause fear, but to ignite readiness. You are now being handed something sacred. The technique, the practice, the access point. It may not involve chants, rituals, or dramatic displays. It requires stillness, alignment. Surrender. 2 hands over your eyes. A whispered statement, "I am one with God." This is not superstition. This is spiritual strategy. The body may be still, but the spirit is moving. As you engage with this technique, your inner environment begins to shift. Fear dissipates. Clarity emerges. The noise of the world fades. In its place, peace rises. Not passive peace, but active. Spiritual fortification. You become covered, not by a shield made of metal, but by alignment made of faith. The external chaos no longer defines you. The internal alignment begins to guide you. This access point is more than a moment of calm. It is a gateway. Behind it lies strategy, instruction, strength, and clarity. But only those who honor the practice will receive what it reveals. The chosen are not immune to the world's collapse, but they are prepared for it. That preparation begins not with external resources, but with internal recalibration. You are not weak. You are not unprepared. You are not too late. You are chosen. And with that designation comes responsibility. You must now use what has been hidden. The final part of part 1 is this: heaven does not delay without reason. What is often perceived as waiting is actually divine synchronization. And now, the alignment has reached you. Your next move is not grand. It is quiet. It is simple. But it will change everything. 2 hands, closed eyes, a whispered truth. This is your access point. Not for retreat, but for revelation. Not for escape, but for empowerment. This is the instruction. Now the choice is yours. Chosen one. The access point has been revealed. And now, as we move deeper into the divine blueprint, it becomes clear. What you've activated is not a momentary shift. It is a spiritual reconfiguration, one that will impact how you live, how you perceive reality, and how you move forward from this point on. In part 1, the instruction was clear: align, activate, and prepare. But what follows that activation is equally vital: maintenance, integration, and embodiment. Many hear a word, receive a revelation, and then return to life unchanged. But the chosen one does not operate this way. You are being called to become the word, to live it, to carry it forward in everything you do. So now the question is, how do you sustain what has just been initiated? The first step is to understand the nature of divine momentum. Spiritual alignment is not an emotional high. It's not a one-time encounter. It's an ongoing recalibration that must be protected, nurtured, and walked out daily. You've stepped into a realm of clarity, but that clarity will be tested, not because you are weak, but because the environment around you will often attempt to pull you back into distraction, fear, and old cycles. Your role now is to guard the new frequency you've entered. This is why spiritual discipline is not about rigidity. It's about sustainability. It's about building internal scaffolding that allows you to stand when the noise increases and when external circumstances shift. Chosen one, your peace is not fragile, but it is sacred. And in order to preserve it, you must restructure how you engage with the world around you. Begin with your environment. Physical clutter reflects spiritual clutter. Emotional toxicity disrupts mental clarity. Energetic drains delay spiritual sensitivity. Evaluate who and what you are allowing access to your mind, your time, and your energy. The chosen one cannot afford to carry unnecessary weight, not because you are superior, but because your assignment requires spiritual agility. The lighter your load, the clearer your discernment. The clearer your discernment, the stronger your authority. The next step is to revisit your inner voice. The mind is a portal, and what you say to yourself matters. Negative self-talk, self-doubt, and inner criticism do not align with divine strategy. They distort it. You have received access to clarity. Therefore, your internal language must now reflect truth, not trauma. Speak in alignment with where you're going, not where you've been. Affirm what has been activated. Guard it. Revisit it in moments of silence. You are not waiting for the world to validate your awakening. You are responsible for cultivating it. Next, understand that integration takes time. Transformation is not rushed. Just because the activation was immediate doesn't mean the embodiment will be. You are becoming. You are evolving. And that process requires grace. Be patient with yourself. Move with intention. And when old thoughts or patterns try to resurface, respond with alignment, not shame. This is not about pretending to be healed. It's about honoring your healing journey without getting stuck in past narratives. The chosen one must also learn to listen not just to people, but to energy, timing, and divine instruction. The higher your sensitivity, the deeper your discernment. And discernment will be your greatest ally in the days ahead. Not every opportunity is divine. Not every voice carries truth. Not every platform is meant for you. Your alignment has granted you access, but that access must be stewarded with wisdom. Now more than ever, spiritual deception is increasing. The world is full of noise masquerading as wisdom. You will be called to test every spirit, to weigh every word, and to move only when peace confirms the path. Your decision-making process must now shift from logic alone to spirit-led intuition. It's not always about what makes sense, it's about what resonates. If something feels off, even when it looks perfect, trust your alignment. This new way of living will not always be understood. Some will question your silence. Others will misread your boundaries. That's okay. You are not called to explain your alignment. You are called to protect it. The chosen walk differently, not with arrogance, but with assurance. Assurance that they are guided. Assurance that they are covered. Assurance that they are in tune with a frequency most people cannot hear, and that frequency speaks in patterns. It whispers in stillness. It confirms through peace. Learn to recognize when your spirit speaks louder than your thoughts. You are now entering a season of divine instruction. Do not mistake divine delay for denial. What appears to be a pause is often spiritual preparation. Heaven doesn't move on your schedule. It moves on your surrender. Chosen one, let go of the need for immediate results. Release the demand for proof. Trust that what has begun in silence will manifest in time. Not by force, but by flow. This doesn't mean you become passive. It means you learn to move in sync with divine timing. Action becomes obedience, not reaction. Movement becomes strategy, not performance. You will be asked to speak when it's uncomfortable, to move when it's inconvenient, to say yes before all the details are revealed. But in those moments, your spirit will know, and when doubt creeps in, it will return to the access point. Close your eyes. Cover them with your hands. Whisper, I am one with God. This is not repetition. It is recalibration. Each time you engage with this sacred technique, you realign. You remind yourself who you are. You stabilize the frequency. And you silence the chaos. The spiritual world responds to alignment. It recognizes energy more than effort. And when your frequency is clear, instructions become sharper. Discernment becomes natural. Favor follows obedience. You will start to notice things, subtle signs, divine alignments, synchronicities that defy logic. You will be in the right place, at the right time, with the right people. Doors will open that no man can shut, not because you forced them open, but because you were aligned when heaven released the instruction. This is not superstition. It's not magic. It's divine order. And with that order comes responsibility. Chosen one, you are now accountable for what you know. You cannot unhear this. You cannot unknow this. You cannot return to spiritual passivity. You are now a carrier of divine strategy. What you've received is not just for your benefit. It's for those connected to your assignment. The people who will be impacted by your clarity. The lives that will shift because you chose obedience over comfort. Your silence has prepared you. Your obedience will sustain you. Your alignment will lead others. And make no mistake, this is only the beginning. The chosen ones are not being gathered for applause. They are being activated for purpose. In the coming days, there will be tests, emotional, spiritual, relational, but you are not unequipped. You have the practice. You have the instruction. You have the strategy. Now walk in it. You don't need to feel ready. You need only to be available. The world is shifting. Heaven is moving. And your role in this divine alignment is not mire it. Is essential. Be still. Be bold. Be clear. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are being preserved. And your time is not just coming. it has arrived. Take this word, integrate it.guard. Live it. And when you're tempted to doubt, return to the instruction. Hands over eyes. Whisper the truth. I am one with God. Chosen one, as we come to the final phase of this message, it is no longer just about what you've heard. It is about who you've become in the process. You've been initiated into a deeper understanding of spiritual alignment, divine timing, and sacred strategy. And now, the question is no longer, what should I do? The question is, how do I live differently from this moment forward? Let us begin here. The truth has always been within you. The whispers of your intuition, the inner knowing you couldn't explain, the patterns you observed long before others noticed. All of these were not coincidences. They were confirmations. You are not ordinary, not random, not simply reacting to life. You have been moving in sync with a higher intelligence that was gradually unlocking you. Each disruption, delay, and moment of silence was a spiritual preparation. The frustration you once experienced wasn't punishment. It was divine positioning. But now, you've been given something few dare to embrace, an invitation to embody what many only observe from a distance. This is not a ceremonial promotion. It is a spiritual assignment. And like any assignment, it carries both power and responsibility. That power is not external. It doesn't rely on followers, recognition, or applause. Your spiritual identity will never need permission to be valid. What you carry is not visible to most people, but it's undeniable to the spirit world. Heaven has marked you. Hell has noticed you. And earth is waiting for you. This understanding is why maintenance of your spiritual state is critical. You cannot afford to drift back into the unconscious habits of your past. When spiritual clarity is left unattended, it fades. When divine momentum is neglected, stagnation returns. You must guard your alignment as a sacred trust. One of the primary shifts now required is from isolation to intentional embodiment. Many chosen ones have spent years hidden, either by divine protection or self-preservation. But now that clarity has come, hiding is no longer serving you. The very tools you've refined in private are meant to be shared, even if only subtly, through presence, action, or example. You're not being asked to preach or perform. You're being asked to live, to walk with precision, to engage the world without being consumed by it. This means setting boundaries that protect your energy. This means choosing silence when noise would dilute your clarity. This means honoring your sensitivity not as a flaw, but as a navigation system. Sensitivity is one of the chosen one's greatest gifts. It allows you to perceive what others ignore. It enables you to discern the unseen and feel what others suppress. But if unmanaged, it can become a burden. So, the instruction now is this: refine your sensitivity. Let it serve you, not overwhelm you. And with that sensitivity must come strategy. Not worldly cunning, but spiritual design. Everything you do from here forward must be filtered through alignment. Relationships, decisions, opportunities, all must pass through the gate of discernment. Not, is this good? But is this aligned? Because in this next chapter, your clarity will be tested, not through chaos, but through comfort. It's easy to identify distractions when they come in the form of crisis. It's harder when they come cloaked in convenience. The wrong opportunity with the right timing can still be a trap. That is why you must trust your inner resonance. Even when something seems logical, if it doesn't feel peaceful, pause. You are not late. You are not missing out. What is for you will never require you to betray your peace. This principle extends to your daily life. Divine alignment is not just a concept, it's a lifestyle. It shows up in the decisions you make when no one is watching, in how you handle conflict, in how you honor your word, in how you treat others, especially when they cannot offer you anything in return. You are now representing a kingdom that is unseen. And because of that, your actions carry weight. Your alignment becomes a message louder than your voice. Let that message be consistent. And when the journey feels heavy, as it sometimes will, return to the foundation. You were never expected to carry the world alone. The divine assignment given to you was never meant to be fulfilled through human strength. You are guided. You are supported. You are not doing this alone. Chosen one, you must also know that rest is part of the strategy. Burnout is not proof of holiness. Exhaustion is not a badge of honor. The spiritual realm does not reward chaos, it honors balance. So, when your body signals fatigue, when your mind grows noisy, when your emotions feel unstable, withdraw. Not to escape, but to recalibrate. Stillness is not inactivity. It is spiritual intelligence. It is the space where clarity returns. And from that space, you will receive your next instruction. And that instruction, when it comes, will require trust. You will not always receive the full blueprint. Often, you will only be shown the next step. But in taking that step, the next one will appear. It's not because heaven is withholding. It's because faith is not about seeing everything. It's about trusting the one who sees everything. This season is not for public validation. It's for private transformation. The chosen ones are being prepared for influence, but not influence. For ego's sake, impact for purpose's sake. And that impact begins with internal congruence. Your outer world must mirror your inner world. That's where authenticity lives. That's where true power flows. As this script concludes, do not treat it as an ending. Treat it as a commissioning. The words were not just for comfort. They were for clarity. They were not just to inspire, they were to instruct. And now that the message has been delivered, your obedience will determine what comes next. No more waiting. No more questioning if you're ready. You are. You were chosen before you were conscious of it. You've been trained through your very life experience. And now you've been given the strategy. Use it. Live it. Guard it. And walk forward with quiet authority. You are not ordinary. You are not late. You are not alone. You are chosen. And now, the world begin to feel the difference. Chosen one, if this message has resonated with your spirit, if something within you stirred, clarified, or realigned, then you're exactly where you need to be. You didn't arrive here by coincidence. This wasn't just another video. This was a divine reminder, a spiritual confirmation, and a sacred invitation to step fully into who you were always meant to be. You've now walked through alignment, activation, and embodiment. And while this message may be concluding, your journey is not. In fact, what lies ahead is the most significant part, how you choose to live from this point forward. And that is why we invite you now, not out of urgency, but from a place of alignment, to become part of something greater. By subscribing to this channel, you're not just adding another name to a list. You're connecting with a community of awakened souls, individuals from around the world who feel the shift, who understand the call, who are no longer willing to live in spiritual silence. This space is for the chosen, the spiritually sensitive, the ones who walk in both reverence and resilience. Here, we don't just deliver messages, we nurture transformation. Each video, each word, each moment is crafted with intention to align, to elevate, to remind. When you subscribe, you ensure that the guidance meant for your next season reaches you right on time. You open the door to weekly content designed to ground you in truth, deepen your understanding, and strengthen your walk. If what you heard today echoed the silent knowing you've carried for so long, then don't let this be your last step. Let it be your first one forward. Like, share, and comment below. Let us know what resonated, what shifted, what spoke directly to your current season. Your words may help someone else who's still finding their voice. And if you feel called, share this message. You never know who needs to hear these words, who may be silently waiting for a sign, a reminder, a reason to keep going. You could be the vessel that brings clarity to someone else's confusion, peace to someone's storm, or courage to someone's hesitation. Turn on the notification bell so that you never miss a message tailored for your growth, your awareness, and your next level of embodiment. This is not about content. It's about connection. This is not about followers. It's about frequency. You didn't just find this message. It found you. And if your spirit says yes, then let this be your confirmation. You are chosen. You are covered. And your journey is only just beginning. Subscribe now and step fully into the alignment that is already unfolding before you. We'll see you in the next message, right on time, right in sync, right in divine order. If this message spoke to your spirit, don't leave without subscribing. Join a community of awakened souls who are walking in clarity, truth, and divine alignment. Here, every video is more than content. It's a moment of connection, a spark of purpose, a step deeper into who you truly are. Subscribe now and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the guidance meant for your next breakthrough. You are chosen, and your journey continues right here.